Welcome to Commas.
Commas is all things tech.
You see culture and technology coming together.
Life hacks.
The practicality right now and the inefficiency of the internet of buying and selling stuff is extraordinary.
Entrepreneurship advice.
I think the first thing is you got to understand your business inside out.
Love and tech.
We've almost reduced dating to kind of this very momentary snap of a person.
It's gonna be a fire show.
I have yet to see something these days that's truly differentiated.
New advice and new inspiration every show.
It really is about the next generation of creators going faster, further than we did.
And now, Sequoia Blodgett.
Now let's start stacking them commas.
On this episode, we've got special guest Jason Jeter in the building. Longtime business partners with the rubber band man himself, T.I., co-founder of Grand Hustle Entertainment, Strivers Row, and now tech investor under Tech Cypher. Plus, my homegirl, Hadi Chime Gay, who many of you may know is Akon's little sister, but she's got some big things bubbling up on her own.
Entrepreneurship advice. Learn from the hottest and most successful investors, founders, and innovators in the game.
Determine your greatness.
It's time to get your knowledge up.
Okay, for sure.
What's poppin'? We've got special guest Jason Jeter in the building.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I am excited about this conversation because you have so many things going on that people don't know about. Like, we know you from music. We know that you're doing some tech investing, but I want to get into your background. Like, how did Jason Jeter become like this huge, like, exec?
I mean, me, I started when I was in high school. So I started like straight out of passion. I started when I was in the 12th grade, selling mixtapes, and eventually interning in high school for Arista Records for a guy named Jeff Burrows. What up, Jeff? Jeff's like the head of marketing at Def Jam right now. Jeff Burrows was the head of marketing at Arista back then, and he was working directly with LaFace Records, with Bad Boy, with Rowdy Records. So that was just like my real official introduction to knowing that, like, okay, this is what I want to do for real, And after that, I went to Hampton. Very briefly. Like, when I got there, I was there, but I knew what I wanted to do. So I knew that, like, I got to get out of here and get to what I need to do.
Like, it's time to move on.
Yeah, exactly. And then from there, I moved to Atlanta because I knew Atlanta was like the next wave, just from really being at Arista in New York and just seeing like LaFace and Rowdy and Social Def and seeing everything that was happening. And actually, my freshman year in Hampton, I went down to Freaknik. So,
okay.
Yeah,
so that was your real intro to Atlanta.
Yeah, that was my real intro. I was like, wow. Like, I went to Lenox Mall. I saw the valet parking. I saw for the first time, like, all of these cars lined up. And I'm just like, wow. Like, I had never seen black people, like, looking like that before. So that just made me kind of just want to be where the action was at, But then, from there, I came to Atlanta, started working at Patchwork Recording Studios, and discovered a young T.I. I was young. He was young. We did a deal with LaFace. We ended up getting off the label, and we ended up starting our own label, basically, because, we took matters into our own hands and started functioning and putting out music. Had like a little bidding war. Did a deal with Atlantic Records. And from there, we, had success. We put out an album in 2003 called Trap Music that pretty much created a whole new subgenre for hip-hop, and went on and participated in movies and soundtracks and signed other artists, B.O.B., Young Dro, DJ Drama, Iggy Azalea, Travis Scott, 8-Ball MJG, but through that time, success in music is like getting a passport. So now that just gives you entry. You can enter these other doors and see what you do. So, of course, we start diversifying and getting into television and film, but also clothing and publishing and, just the business of entertainment, I'll say,
So you made that transition sound real smooth. Was there any hiccups throughout the road that you were just like, man, I don't know that this is like the thing that we should be doing? Or were you like, nah, this is 100%, let's start this label?
Nah, that was it for me. I was young, so
you're taking them risks.
Yeah, when you're young, you can take all the risks. So
right.
I was young. I was and I had already saw what success looked like. So it was like, okay, you know what? We started one route, and an obstacle came in front of us with Arista Records, coincidentally the label that we ended up being distributed through, not supporting us. So it was like, yo, you know what? Let's take matters into our own hands. You know, for me, I had already sold mixtapes in high school. So at this time, mixtapes were still like a thing. You could still make money. And being in the South, we pretty much I applied like methods from back home, New York, New Jersey, tri-state area. I applied those methods to a Southern artist at the time. So, you know, in the South, you had mixtapes. You had guys that did mixtapes, but you never had like artists mixtapes. You know, 50 Cent was putting out his mixtapes at that time back in New York. So I was like, okay, we're just gonna do that down here, you know. And then I discovered a DJ that had like small mixtapes around the city, and this is DJ Drama. So I called him up. He had his Gangsta Grills CD that he was literally just kind of introducing, and it was, you know, it was very infant stages of that, you know. But I saw what he was doing. I knew that we couldn't really sustain like doing mixtapes all the time. So I was like, yo, let's click up. Let's do a couple mixtapes together. So then DJ Drama came within our fold, and we started doing Gangsta Grills, and that brand just created a life of its own as well, you know.
Took off. Yeah. So you're talking about Grand Hustle, which you never mentioned.
Grand Hustle. Yep.
So with Grand Hustle, do you think now, because you said it was very seamless, do you think now it's worth starting a label given the dynamic and the atmosphere where we are today?
Yeah, I think so. I just think you got to do it in a new way. You know, you can't do new things the old way, you know. So that, for me, was what I did when I was 21, 22 years old, 23 years old, you know. And now, X amount of years later, you know, like now you just got to do it different. But of course, look at the music business. The music business is not going anywhere. It's a huge market, right? It's a huge business. And we all know that everything today is about culture, right? But music is the biggest amplifier of culture.
But is it worth starting a record label under a major? Like, do majors even still matter?
QC Records is under Capitol or Motown. And that's like the hottest label right now.
Shout out to Coach K.
Shout out to Coach. Shout out to P.
Yeah.
You know?
So how did you then make that whole transition into tech?
For me, I'm an entrepreneur. So no matter what, I'm going to always kind of walk in the room and sniff out the opportunity. You know?
What did you smell that made you jump?
I'm smelling money circulating, you know? and I'm just, in tech, I started meeting people like very organically, you know, like sitting next to a guy in first class on the airplane and just striking up a conversation and, yeah, what do you do, you know, and what do I do? And in that conversation, somebody says, who's like my age, says about his last 10 years, and I had 2-3 exits, and I'm like, wow.
You like, exit from where? Tell me more.
Yeah, you know, so I'm like, I know that this dude isn't working as hard as I'm working. Like, that's a fact, you know, but I'm also seeing that he's working smarter than I'm working, you know, so that's really my first thing that led me to really truly say, I got to figure this tech thing out. You know, and I started meeting people naturally, and I started meeting just some good people and just organically learning the game and learning how to play the game. You know, I did make a bad investment like years prior to that, but I don't even count that because that was on me. I didn't even do my due diligence for real, you know. So when I came back into it, I said, let me just really learn the game, you know, and that's what I've done.
So what made you decide to start a fund versus being an entrepreneur and actually starting a tech company?
I really said I want to make investments. I want to make investments in early stage, growth stage, and late stage ventures. You know, naturally, me personally, I'm a developer. You know, so that part is only natural to come. You know, because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I got 1 million companies. So now that my mind is thinking this way, I'm constantly thinking about, okay, how do I do what I love in a smarter way? So how do I incorporate technology, you know, to make it better, you know? But first and foremost, I wanted to come into tech, and I wanted to make investments, and I saw obviously what Nas was doing, and I saw what, you know, just other people from our culture, what they were doing, and I said, okay, like, what's really behind the curtain so I can understand how is this happening, you know? And I felt like, in general, for us as a people, like, the only way that we get ahead is if, like, me and my people get money, not just me, you know? So that's really what made me really say, you know what, I want to put together a syndicate. I want to put a group of like-minded people together, and now I want to bring the information back to the room. We put our bread together, go make investments, and now that we invested in things, I can always turn around and come back in my own room, right, with my own idea and say, hey, do you guys want to invest in my thing, or vice versa? Hey, you guys got ideas that y'all already doing. And most of these people that I put together were also entrepreneurs and already making investments in like real estate and things of that nature, So everyone's looking through the glass with the same feeling that I have, like, yo, how do I get in the Uber? How do I get closer to it? So for me, I'm just the kind of person that I believe in. I believe in team. I believe in community. I believe in group economics,
That's what's up. So what companies have you invested in so far?
So far, I made some, secondary market investments, Airbnb, Lyft, Lime, Airbnb, Lyft, Lime. I believe those are the ones on the secondary market that I've gotten into so far. And I made an early stage investment. My guy Cedric Rogers, Sean Newsom, they have a company together called Culture Gen, which is an interactive live production company, basically. The first production from this company is a game show called Trivia Mob. So these dudes, I met a lot of great people through SED and learned a lot through SED. Been knowing each other for the last few years, so I know what kind of dude he is. I know that, he's well prepared and well experienced. And then I met Sean through him and said, wow, these guys are good. I think these guys can really get this done, And it was a natural fit for us and my team as a syndicate, because at the end of the day, it's a live game show. So it's entertainment. It's like Jeopardy beats 106 in Park. So I'm like, yo, you know what? We know how to influence this. Clearly, we could put some money into this, but we can also give knowledge and, just expertise and amplification through promotions to help influence this and marketing, obviously.
So you said you had a really bad investment in the beginning, and then you converted that to a really strong investment. What did you learn between the process?
I learned that it's not just the idea, right? Because it was a good idea. It was a good idea, but it's not just the idea. Maybe even more important than the idea is the founder, right? Like, because now you're putting your money on this person's ability to see the idea through, So I learned that, and I also learned that I don't want to be like the first person in an investment, right? Like, that's how it is most of the time in our community, unfortunately. Somebody comes to you, yo, invest, and dog, you don't have anybody else in this company right now. So for me, I learned that, I don't want to be the first one. I want to invest along beside other smart investors. I want to be able to help something, not put it all on my back. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely one of the great things that I learned, and that's one of the things that also incentivized me to feel comfortable enough and betting on this early stage investment as Culture Gen. Mucker Capital, BetaWorks, two strong VCs were already invested in. So we had two founders that have already had a great run of experience, and some success and also some losses, which makes you only better and smarter and wiser, So those are some of the things that I learned for sure, and those are some of the things that I'm looking at as we're looking at investing in people.
So what are some other tips? Because you said great founder, you want to make sure that you're not the first one in. What are some other tips that you would give to entrepreneurs who are looking to get that investment? I
think that first you have to prepare yourself. I think a lot of entrepreneurs that I'm running into, a lot of them have great ideas, but they're still not all the way as realistic as they should be. And I think that's really, you really got to really prepare yourself and really kind of know that, it's political as well, right? Like, who's your board? Like, it's just you. Like, who's your board for real? It really kind of, to me, starts with the idea, the plan, but your board is your immediate network of resources to really help position you for real. And I think that a lot of people that I've been running across haven't really thought it all the way through. Yeah.
Do you think that's because you're in the Atlanta ecosystem, or why do you think that's a thing?
I mean, I'm everywhere. I'm not just Atlanta. I'm in New York. I'm in LA. I'm in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely not that part. But I think more than anything, most of the people that I run into are predominantly young African American founders. Period. You know, people hit me on social media, right? I don't even know where they're at. You know, but some of the dialogue that we get into on DM, like I try to talk to people and just give them some pointers, give them some tips. You know, because like I said, like a lot of people I get random emails all the time, and you know, you skim through it, and it's just like people don't realize when you say you invest in. Of course, everybody's like, okay, what's up? But for me, it's like I'm not a VC, so this is my personal.
So you're
money.
Angel.
Yeah, this is my money, right? I'm not playing with nobody else's money.
So I take this real serious.
You know what I'm saying? This is my money, and then this is my.
These streets spending my money.
Right? Look, so it's my money, and then it's my friend's money. So like, how do I look coming to my friends talking like, Jay, what are you talking? Are you in business with this dude? Like, you know what I'm saying? People like, come on, man. We trying to make money. We're not trying to. This is, as Tip said the other day, a for-profit business.
We ain't trying to lose money.
This ain't
up
a
in
nonprofit. This ain't a community service.
Yo, that's real. A lot of it's interesting too because with the Black community, when you go to outside investors who are not a part of the Black community, they're like, they position it almost like, okay, so this feels like it could be like I can contribute this on a nonprofit basis. Like, yo, like we as a consumer are massive, right?
What?
So we're creating products and services that can be equally scalable. So I think that's super important to note.
Yep.
So going back, and the reason why I asked you that question is because the Atlanta ecosystem is starting to grow, but I think there is that lack of knowledge going into it. What are some of those things that and I think too, Atlanta has a lot of money, right?
Sure.
So what are some of those things for people who are looking to become investors or even educate the community? What are some of those things that they could be telling entrepreneurs coming in?
I think Atlanta is definitely dope. It's a lot of things going on in Atlanta. It's a lot of things going on, and I look forward to seeing how it really plays out probably over the next 5 years. You know, I would like to see just people combine more resources and work even more together. I think it's only smarter, like I said, you know, for us to get ahead truly, we have to increase our education, number one. You know, we have to circulate our dollars within the community, you know, and which only equals more people in the community getting money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that's the only way we're going to get ahead. But I think that from there, I really can't say, honestly, what's all the way been going on. You know, in Atlanta, I've been reading about a lot of articles, and of course, I know a lot of people down there that are doing certain things, and I know Atlanta is an entrepreneurial city.
Yeah,
so,
at its heart.
Yeah, at the heart, like it's made up of entrepreneurs. So, you know, anytime you say it's money somewhere, people just like me, I'm smell it out. I want to figure out how to get closer to it, you know. But I'll definitely say people also have to understand, to your point, with Atlanta, it's full of talent, but just like the film industry or just like the music industry, if you really want to get some money, you got to leave Atlanta. You know, you have to go where the industry is at. If you're in the music business and you're in Atlanta, you know you have to get on a plane and go to New York or go to LA to get a bag for real. You know, so I feel like that's also what has to happen in Atlanta. You know, no matter what, we want to build it, but we got to be realistic and understand the game that we're playing. So now you got to go where the money is at and come back to the city with the bag and spread it around.
That's what's up. So for the people who are prepared and have other investors' interest, how do they get to you?
Yeah. So the people that are prepared, we have a website, techcypher.com, TechCypha.com, as well as an Instagram page at techcypher.com. At TechCypher. I got the tongue twisters going right now. Okay. But so you can go on the website, you can sign up, leave your email address. It's literally being developed right now, and we're going to be up and going to have the whole syndicate thing and answer all kinds of questions and let people submit information. But it's not up already, but you can sign up, leave your email address, and we'll, of course, email people, MailChimp and all of that, right, in coming times. But you can also follow us on Instagram and just stay tuned of what's happening and stay abreast, you know?
And obviously, you guys, if you're interested in following your page, what's that?
Sure. My page is at Jason Jeter, Geter.
So kind of piggybacking off of the conversation had earlier with Atlanta being a new tech hub, what makes a city a dope tech hub? My understanding of this is tech can be wherever you want it to be. So your city is really the new Silicon Valley. So long gone are the days of having to uproot and move to Silicon Valley to create a profitable startup or a venture-backed startup. There are tons of new tech hubs that exist all over major metropolitans. And to be honest, if you're planning to raise venture, you would still have to go back and forth, maybe take a few trips to the Valley, take a few trips to New York to secure the bag, but definitely you do not have to live there in order to build a successful tech startup. The company really is wherever you are. And with teams being dispersed so heavily nowadays, with people working remote, having one co-founder on one coast, another co-founder on a completely different coast, we have the tools and resources now to collaborate, even if you aren't in the same city. So to have one center-focused tech hub really just doesn't make sense anymore, right? So Inc. magazine recently put out an article where they analyzed the top cities to start a company based on growth, opportunity, and innovation. And they landed on 5 with, of course, San Francisco leading the charge. But here are 4 other alternatives. So Nashville, Tennessee, because of the substantial amount of healthcare businesses, has been known to create a lot of healthcare startups. So if healthcare is your thing, then Nashville may be somewhere you want to check out because there's a huge uptick out there right now. Raleigh, North Carolina has been noted because they are highly educational in terms of their workforce. So 8.2% of their current population are also entrepreneurs. So you're going to be in an ecosystem surrounded by like-minded individuals, and you'll have the resources and the know-withal to network and connect to build out your companies. So Salt Lake City, Utah is also one of the cities that you should be looking to start a company because it's extremely affordable. And they also have the highest percentage of high growth companies per capita. Some of the companies currently there are Adobe, Oracle, and Ancestry.com. And those are all considered billion-dollar unicorn companies. And in addition to that, they have 5 other newly minted companies that are coming up that are expected to be unicorns as well. So they are actually doing a lot of amazing business out there. Austin comes last on the list. And of course, there's an extreme growth of startups out there. But the reason why Austin is so sexy right now is because of the low taxes. Like nobody is really trying to pay the government. So Austin, Texas is now one of those epicenters where people are absolutely looking to start companies. One thing I will note though, for Black entrepreneurs, it seems that right now Atlanta is the hot spot. Some of the startups that are bubbling out there include Pindrop, which is founded by Paul Judge. It's a cybersecurity firm that has raised over $90 million in funding. The Gathering Spot, which is a private members-only club that hosts over 1,000 members that include founders from Black-led startups like consumer robotics maker Monsieur, political engagement app Empowered, and visual recognition tech company PartPick, which was founded by Jewel Burke and acquired by Amazon in 2016. Also, Tristan Walker, as you guys may or may not know, sold Bevel, our Walker & Company brands, and Bevel was a part of that acquisition to Procter & Gamble. And instead of relocating from Silicon Valley to Procter & Gamble's headquarters in Cincinnati, he decided that he wanted to bring the company to Atlanta. So that was another major move. And in addition to that, Blavity also opened their new technology office back in June. So there is definitely a lot of traffic when it comes to hot startups in the Atlanta market. I mean, they've got everything from crypto. So you look at Storage, which is a blockchain cloud storage company. One of the other major considerations and key factors that you should be thinking about is cost of living, right? So if you're in San Francisco, you're looking at up north of $3,000 in rent for a 1-bedroom. And so that's money that you could essentially be putting back into your company. I mean, New York is very similar. San Jose, Boston, Washington, D.C., LA, Oakland, Chicago, Miami, Seattle. Those are some of your more expensive places to live. So when you're first starting out, of course, you're bootstrapping, you don't have a venture, and you're spending your own money. So could that be money that you're putting into your venture or taking away from your venture by living in a certain city? So those are definitely some things to consider when starting your company and deciding where you want to place your venture. So, of course, Silicon Valley has its pros and its cons. I'm from the Bay Area. So I lived there, I grew up there, but I actually moved away and then moved back when I started my company for 3 years. So I was living in the Valley for 3 years. And I will say the benefit was that I really, really got a thorough understanding of what it was like to start an actual company and understand what was happening at the precipice, because honestly, Silicon Valley is at the forefront of innovation. So I got to understand a lot of that and what venture meant and the ecosystem itself. I'm personally a creative at heart, so I could not live there another minute. So I packed it up and moved back to Los Angeles. But that's not everybody's story. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But, you know, some people really are excited to grind it out, live in the Valley, and really understand VC and raising and building a super innovative company. I, on the other hand, was not that person. So it really depends on what you want in terms of your work-life balance, what type of company you're building, what type of innovation and technology you need, and what type of support you need. Because as far as I'm concerned, you can absolutely do that outside of the Valley, but there are some instances where you need to be there. And so what it all comes down to is this. Do you have the resources to build a successful company? I would say the answer is yes, no matter where you are. You just have to get creative, be resourceful. So even if you think you don't have the resources straight out, you're going to have to be resourceful. And eventually your company could be the next unicorn to grow out of just about anywhere.
It's Life Hacks.
Life hacking, baby.
Tech tips and tools for everyday needs.
Tap in.
Control, copy these shortcuts and simplify your life.
You heard us.
Okay, ladies. Modern Fertility is a comprehensive fertility hormone test for women that you can take home. We're waiting longer to have kids because we got stuff to do, but it is posing a problem. 1 in 6 couples have trouble conceiving. We all have the tools to help us prevent pregnancy, but we need more information to help us plan for it, even if kids are far in the future. So Modern Fertility gives you a customized report to help you understand your fertility through your hormones. You'll have a personal fertility team to help you understand your results and make a game plan. You get access to the team of fertility nurses, a weekly webinar, and their online community for women just like you. The way this works is you take the test home, you send in the test, and you get your results back in a few days. For a proactive fertility hormone test, you're often paying anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. This one is just $159, and Modern Fertility gives you access to the information you need to help you plan ahead. And what's even more impressive is you can put this on your FSA or your HSA. And the test will tell you if you have more or less eggs than average for your age, what you can expect from IVF or egg freezing if that's something that you want to do, and how your hormone levels relate to PCOS, which 1 in 10 women have. Additionally, it'll give you general hormone health, which is a window into actually your broader health. So that's really important. You get questions answered with one of the fertility nurses. You can join their weekly webinars called their Egginars, which is a little spin on that. And you get involved in the community with women who are going through the same things, because everybody knows community is super important. Whether you want kids now or far in the future, totally up to you, but you should have the option. And Modern Fertility will give you the results and the resources to map these things out on your own terms. We don't just wait and see for anything else in our lives, and fertility doesn't have to be any different. What's even more important is the quality of the test. So they're all conducted with a CLIA certified lab and Modern Fertility's team of physicians and clinical advisors that lead some of the nation's top fertility clinics. Me being in my mid-30s, I'm very curious about my fertility. Obviously, if I do want kids, I got to get on it, but I don't know how much time I actually have left. So I logged online to take the quiz, and it was super self-explanatory. It wasn't invasive or uncomfortable at all. It was very straightforward. They ask you about your fertility goals, your age, and some more personal qualifying questions regarding your feminine health. Are you on birth control? How do you feel about actually taking an in-home test? And so I'm just really excited to actually take the test itself and get the results back. Visit modernfertility.com/commas. Take their fertility quiz and get $20 off your Modern Fertility test. That's modernfertility.com/commas to take their fertility quiz and get $20 off. modernfertility.com/commas.
Yo, 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 yo.
Love, life, and tech.
With Sequoia Blodgett.
Just part of our culture.
Because balance is real between the swipe culture, mental health, personal growth, career, and just about everything in between.
Just keeping it real.
It's a lifestyle.
Incredible vibes, incredible people.
Love,
Life.
and tech.
What's poppin'? We've got special guest Hadi Cham Gay in the building. Superwoman powerhouse extraordinaire. Running stuff and collecting receipts. What is good, girl?
Oh my God. How are you?
I'm so good. So, for the folks at home, tell us about your background.
Okay. Well, many people know me as Akon's sister. He put me through college. I got my master's in public relations, master's in entrepreneurship. And essentially, it really was just to be of asset and value to my family, as everyone from my father down to Boo, Omar, everybody in my family is in the either entrepreneurs or in the music business.
Yeah, your family's a big deal.
Thank you. Thank you.
But let's talk more about that. So you went through school, you got your MBA.
Yes, I did.
And then you launched your own company, TMI.
So I launched my own company just last year, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yes, before then, I was working strictly with my brother Akon. I started off as his personal assistant. Then when he launched,
I got other things because I have education. So
listen,
what else?
And then he did Akon Latin Africa, so I was a brand manager for that. And then after that, he just started putting me in certain rooms. And I was like, I love that he has this much trust in me, but I can't really keep faking it till I make it, because there are real conversations that are going on, and that's what made me go back for my master's in entrepreneurship.
Oh, that's interesting. So what were some of those things that were coming up for you?
Like going public and things like that, or certain mergers, acquisitions.
We are public.
Listen, he's a public figure. What more do you want? But yeah, certain things like that. And, even when you do have an attorney, it's best when you also know what kind of deal that you want. You don't want to leave everything to the attorney, or just be able to be a part of the conversation and know what they're talking about and what you're getting yourself into as well. So I needed that for myself since I saw the trust he had in me.
That's crazy. So, and then you're gone from this personal assistant to now being bombarded with everything that is all Akon. So how did you deal with that?
Oh my goodness. You know what? It took time, and it took organizing myself, because he's not going to stop doing it. The people aren't going to stop doing it to me. So that's when I had to just get myself organized, get some people around myself as well, have a team around me to really help me funnel everything that's coming my way.
So tell me about TMI Worldwide.
All right. So TMI Worldwide started off as a consulting company, actually, for artists and just helping them navigate their way through the industry. But as the company started, we started heading into the event space a little bit. So we did the beat auction late last year, where Jay White and Zaytoven and everybody were auctioning their beats. And then that started making me feel okay, the access that I have, let me use that as a platform so that upcoming artists and emerging artists can also, have a room where they're, getting to know the people that are emerging in the industry as well. So, that's where we're at right now. And then I think it's just getting bigger and bigger. It's very early, and I still work on the Akon projects and with Boo as well. So I'm trying to really handle all of them at this point.
So handling all of Akon's projects, all of Boo's projects, Boo is, give them context.
Oh my goodness. So Boo is a business executive, music mogul. He A&R'd Rihanna's Talk That Talk, Loud. He A&R'd Jay-Z and Kanye West Watch the Throne. Even J-Lo's Hit the Floor. So he's been very instrumental in the music industry, but he's so humble. So for me, it was more about putting him more out there and letting the world know more of what he do. Because if you leave it up to him, he'll just quietly just make so many influences that people really wouldn't know who's the man behind that. So that's what I really want to do for him.
That's awesome. And then, but how are you surviving? Because that is a lot, right? If somebody was like, yes, deal with Akon's career and this amazing exec over here too, and now yours, and P.S., you have a family, like how are you keeping it together?
I have an amazing support system, though. I'm a part of a sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho. Me and my line sisters are super close. I even have a best friend who happens to be a life coach, and his name is Jonathan L. Harris, and he's become my life coach. My mother, obviously, my sister-in-law, Tamika, who I've known since I was like 9, who's like a very strong support for me. So that I lean on that a lot, and you actually do need that, or you'll go crazy. So
I 100% agree, because I'd be like, listen, y'all all can take your careers back. I am going to Malaysia to sit on this rock and
you have to take
out.
breaks, though. No matter how crazy they get, you have to you take a step back and take a break.
Tell me about that. So what are you doing for self-care?
What am I doing for showers? I know that's the
She's
weirdest
like, I've been here
answer.
for 30 hours. Like,
Listen,
out the bathroom.
That is the only place where no one can interrupt you.
That's real.
You can't bring your phone, and it's just like it's a thing. Everyone knows she's in the shower. Don't disrupt her. So I take full advantage of showers, and I'm like in there, and my hair is short, so the water's like running through it's just the best moment for me. That's my self-care.
That's amazing. I love it.
It's so weird, but that's my go-to.
She's like, I'm
and
gonna
it's
sit in the
free,
shower, right? Except your water bill,
right? That's true. That's true.
So, what exactly is your life coach telling you? So you're getting these tips and tricks from, obviously your circle, but what is your life coach telling you to keep you centered and keep you focused?
You know what's so funny? My life coach. It's funny because a lot of things that he's telling me, that's like a lot of things that I tell my brother Boo, because I am in the background a lot. And people don't know, but thanks to you, Sequoia, you wrote an article about me in Black Enterprise.
I told her it was going to blow up. She didn't hear me. She didn't understand the magnitude.
Thank you. And I was content in how I was and just I was content. So Thank you. All the praise go to you on that. So my life coach is just like, listen, you have all this knowledge, you have all this access. You need to be educating artists, entrepreneurs, influencers on what you know, because it's on an international level as well. So, I'm taking his advice. I think for him, I'm taking my time with it a little too much, because there's a lot of things that he wants me to do, like start the entrepreneurial school and do more events and things like that. But that's what he's all about, like just sharing my knowledge.
I think that's so dope. So being a female in the industry that is very much dominated by men, how have you been able to navigate the ecosystem?
It's really just about owning and demanding your power, almost. It's like they treat you how you treat yourself, or you like allow them to be treated. And like I said, a lot of us in the music industry start off as like interns or assistants or something like that. And it can be really tough to just break out of those administrative roles, because we tend to be so good at it, and they just want to leave you stuck in that box forever. And it's almost like you have to threaten them, like, listen, I'm more than this. I need to get promoted or I'll leave.
But you can't leave because they're your brothers.
Yeah, I can't leave. So I just started like going out, being a self-starter, going outside of what they tell me to do, or like started going and bringing branding opportunity and things like that. And it's like, oh, okay, so she does more than answer emails and handle my schedule. So it's really, I had to do it in that way.
So you basically had to show and prove.
For sure.
I think that's a very interesting point that you're making, because a lot of people wait for an opportunity, but you got to get out there and actually take the opportunity.
You'll die waiting for an opportunity. Like, you don't see me? How about now? It's really like that. How about now? Let me do this. How about now? But it's not just like just existing. Yeah, but it's up to you. No one's going to hand you anything. And I wonder if I think that's in many industries. I don't think it's just in music, but nothing's handed to you at all. Regardless if you're their mother, sister, anything. Nothing's handed, yeah.
What's your biggest feat that you had to tackle being in the industry so far?
Wow, it would be more on a personal level. It would be more on a personal level. I've been married for about 4 years, but before then, I didn't have a personal life at all. I was traveling with my brother around the world, so that my friends barely saw me. Anyone barely saw me other than where I was at. So that as I got older and making the time to do it, now having a husband and a son, now I'm making time for them, which includes making time for me. But it was definitely that, like self-care and making time for yourself and stuff like that.
That's amazing. So we're going to play a quick game, two truths and one lie. You're going to tell me two truths about the music business and one lie. It's not like I probably won't guess them, but let's see what you got.
Okay, as a new artist, if you feature an artist, then that's the quickest way to success.
Okay. What are the other two?
Okay. It can be very hard to separate business and it can be very hard to separate like business and the personal life. Give me an easy one. And then the next one, let me see. To promote a record, radio is still essential. Radio promotions is still essential.
That's a good one. So I definitely think radio is still essential. I think. I sounded real confident and then I snatched it back. I think radio is still essential. Separating business and personal can be difficult, I believe, because it's all a blur. I feel like when you're in the industry, your family, your friends, you guys are all working together. So when do you have time to be like, yo, chill out? I'm trying to watch this movie. Stop talking to me
about somebody feeling a certain way about it.
Yeah. Stop talking to me about who you need to sign. And then what was the first one?
I forgot. I was praying that you would remember. Featuring artists.
Oh, it's the quickest way to success. Then I don't know what the falsitude is here. Okay, I would say the lie is, I don't know, tell me.
The lie, honestly, is that when you feature a major artist on your record, that it's a quicker way to success. I think that's false. And a lot of people, they think that's the biggest shortcut. So they dump all this money on a feature. They do the feature. They may get a little buzz. Then once the feature's over, they wonder why, and aren't I not still climbing or something like that?
Okay. So then what would you recommend to a new artist who is trying to break into the industry? How do they build that level of success?
My thing is growing a fan base, because you want something that's real, and what's real is your tribe, your followers, not followers like on Instagram, but your fans. And if you at least take the time to do that, and they'll love you to where even if you change your sound and go from trap to country, they'll understand you and oh yeah, he needed or she needed to try something different, and they'll still follow you. Other than you just wanting this quick success, people who just like you for that moment, then they drop you for the next one.
I love that, because that also ties into entrepreneurship.
For sure.
When people are building a business, you want to start with your customer, cater to that customer the whole time, and then they become loyal fans.
Yes.
Your customers.
Yes.
Great tip. I see you. Okay, so how do people get in contact with you if they want more information?
All right. Well, I'm on Instagram. I wish my name was so easy. It's easier now, actually. I did change it. Hady TMI, KHADY TMI. I actually do answer DMs. I'm on LinkedIn, all the social media platforms and things like that. I do respond to the messages, or by email at info@tmi.world.
So slide into them DMs.
They go down in them DMs.
They do. That's what's up.
This is The Plug.
You know who's the plug.
It's time to get caught up on the hottest in tech.
Keep it locked, you heard?
With Sequoia Blodgett.
I see you, little mama.
I launched my first company, 7 a.m. in 2014 after a long stint of working in the entertainment industry as a commercial and music video director. It was hard. Even though I was venture backed by one of the biggest VCs in the game, I still was so confused as to how to actually run, grow, and scale the company. I didn't understand how to convert customers quickly and efficiently. I didn't understand which marketing tools to use and how to create sales funnels. I didn't understand staying niche in the beginning and not boiling the ocean. I didn't understand how to stay motivated during extreme times of loneliness and not getting the results I was expecting. After several years, we ended up closing the doors. I started studying hundreds of really successful entrepreneurs to find out how they not only kept the lights on, but were scaling rapidly. After officially walking away from my first company in 2016, several years later, I launched Commas, a virtual entrepreneurship resource center. Yes, we're actually a company. I built it to help you guys understand why raising capital too fast will actually hurt you, why you need a team around you to iterate quickly and stay sane, why your business has to stand out because so many people are doing the exact same thing. There are no new ideas, and why it's important not to push your personal life to the back burner. Consider Commas as your entrepreneurship resource guide so you can avoid making the same mistakes that I did. We cover all things from product to marketing to publicity and fundraising. You can learn more about Commas, the actual platform, by visiting commastheseries.com. You can also hit us up on our socials at Commas the Series. Until next week, it's your girl Sequoia, and I'm out.